Okay. So, first question. Let A and B be events such that the probability of A is 0.35 and the probability of B is 0.5. The probability of A union B is 0.65. Find the probability of A given B.
Formula sheet.
Wonderful choice.
We give it formula.
No. It is illegal with your own life.
This is why you're classically beautiful.
Hey, I answered. I can literally
Yeah,
talk.
nobody speaks out loud.
Rude. Okay.
Oh,
So if you're looking for A given B, which formula do I need to use?
the one where the
Okay, the conditional.
Conditional probability. So can you read that formula to me?
P, A, what's that called? Union?
Intersect. This
In-
one's intersect.
Okay, intersect B, is equal, or, oh, okay, yeah. PA intersect B over PB.
Okay. So this is my formula. Do I have all of these pieces of information?
No, we have union.
I have union. So I need to find intersect. Which formula relates A, B, union, and intersect?
Combined events.
Okay. So tell me about it.
Probability of A plus probability of B minus the probability of the intersect is equal to the union.
Can I just write you over here?
Yeah.
I'm getting really tired. All these stupid letters. Okay, and parentheses. Okay, so with this formula, now I just get to plug it in. I know that this is 0.65 is equal to 0.35 plus 0.5 minus what I'm looking for. So then math happens. So I have 0.35 minus 0.5. 0.3, negative 0.2, but it's negative, so it's 0.2. Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Mental math.
Divided
Divided by the probability of B, which is 0.5, and then that is equal to.
0.4.
I'm gonna trust you.
I
I don't
Well,
know.
it's 2/5, basically, right?
It's 1/5 over 1/2.
that's true. 1/5 of 1/2.
Two fifths, which is yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
right.
Andrew, talk to me.
I'm impressed every time.
That's so cool.
Oh, what? It's 2/5. How is that impressive?
Because I thought it was 0.1.
Well, you're a little.
Dude,
Okay.
wait, no.
Oh, you just
no.
multiplied by 2.
Does that make sense? Does the process of how we got there make sense? Like the questions that I was asking you. Are you not playing tennis today?
Well, it's not leaving until 3, so.
Cool.
Okay.
Join us.
Studious, okay.
You can join the Zoom on your. You can stay the whole time if you want to.
On
Studious.
Zoom.
On Zoom.
In the bathroom.
I have
Okay.
a whole 6 minutes to be.
Okay.
I was kind of okay.
Gross. Not you. The next one has a circle.
Sorry, that was inconvenient timing.
Points A and B lie on the circle. Chord AB has a length of 8, and angle AOB is theta. Find the value of theta and give your answer in radians.
Isn't
You have
it
same
L
lines
or
to
theta? L equals
No, this isn't the length of a chord. I mean, this isn't the length of an arc. It's the length of a chord.
So can't you use the length of the chord to find the length of
The
the
You
length.
could,
Length.
or what's that shape?
a triangle?
A triangle.
Oh, that was.
So this one's 5. This one is 5.
Cosine rule?
Cosine rule, so I have 8 squared is equal to 2 times 5 squared. Is that okay that I did that? 5 squared plus 5 squared is 2 5 squared.
Yes.
Okay, minus 2 times 5 squared times the cosine of the angle. I mean, you could write out all of the pieces, but
On the IB exam, could you just write that?
yes, your potential to make a mistake, but I'm
I would be
tired.
writing it all out.
Yeah, I'm gonna write everything out completely because.
Okay, and then you solve for
Yeah.
theta. Is it okay if I just click on the mark scheme? We know how to type things in our calculator. Okay, once we find our theta, how would you find the area of the shaded region?
Area of the circle minus the triangle.
Could you do pi
No.
or
2 pi,
No.
2 pi, wait.
The reason why is because the area of the triangle
Yeah.
doesn't include that piece.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when
area of the sector minus area of the circle? Like,
360 degrees.
Which
like-
sector, find the sector there. You could do that. You could do area of a circle minus area of a sector, or the other way.
Just find the other angle of the thing and then find the area. of the
Yeah.
circle.
This
Yeah,
is theta 2,
So
here.
360 degrees minus.
Well, or 2 pi, right?
2 pi minus theta, depending on whether you're in
Yeah.
degrees or radians. Whichever one you do whole circle angle minus piece of an angle to get the other piece of an angle, and then use area of a sector, 1/2
R sine, wait,
r squared sin theta, r sin theta.
area of the sector?
Yeah,
Yeah, 1/2
R
r
squared
squared.
theta.
yeah, I was right.
I have a question.
Yep.
So when you do like, let's say the angle is 1.2, for example, you do 2 times pi, like in parentheses, minus 1.2, and
Yep.
that's, okay. So it's not 2 minus, like you wouldn't get 0.8.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so just for funsies,
No.
since we didn't say the answers out loud, here's our mark scheme. You should get 1.85 radians. And then when you use the area of the sector formula, then, so that's how they did the 2 pi minus right here.
Mhm.
And then you should get 55.4 centimeters squared.
So close, Andrew.
Okay, this one. A school basketball team of 5 students is selected from 8 boys and 4 girls. Yay, co-ed.
Oh,
Determine how many possible teams can be chosen.
oh, oh, wait.
You could write it all out, right?
Isn't there the thingy, there's
Words are hard.
they are.
I can go for math.
I'll give you a hint on your formula sheet. It's in topic 1. HL topic 1.
The PNR or the CNR.
Yep. NCR or NPR. It's a permutation or a combination. Which one is this?
C and CR,
It's a combination. Why is it a combination and not a permutation?
because you're combining like, boys and girls.
You're not.
No, that's not why it's a combination versus a permutation.
Oh, is it a permutation? Or am I right about that?
You're right, it's a combination. You're wrong about the reason why.
Because you're,
What is the difference between the two?
One has a C and one has a P.
I don't know what a permutation is.
Okay, so, it's about the order. So combinations, the order doesn't matter. Permutations is where the order does matter. So for example, when you were electing prefects, you have 2 prefects. They're ranked the same, so out of the people who ran, there's only a certain number of combinations, right? But permutations is where you have house, where you have like a president and a vice president. There's a different combination if Leonard is president and Bella is vice president, but it's a totally separate combination if Bella is president and Leonard is vice president. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a combination because it doesn't matter who the team, like where they are when they get drafted in this particular case, it's just that they get drafted. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so when we have NCR in this case, this one's with your calculator, so they're super nice. They're letting you use the calculator instead of doing the formula. So in your calculator, depending on which calculator you have, you will either type the first number and then press the NCR button. You're gonna get a pencil.
Wait for it.
Why would they pencil theirs but not pencil?
And this is next.
One is on concrete and one is on grass.
No, but like concrete, like you can play soccer in grass, you can't play tennis.
They're gonna skate and break the.
So N represents the total number in the universe. So within the universe, how many people are there that we could choose from? 12. So I would have 12 C, and then if I was doing it by hand, I'd use the factorial. But 12 C, and then what's my R? 5, because there's 5 people. So in your calculator, you hit the map button, and then scroll to probability, and then there's an NCR or an NPR. I don't know where it is on yours.
Yeah, I'm
Figure it
looking
out.
at it.
I'm gonna trust you on this one.
You can also use the factorial button. I know where it is on yours.
Yeah, we have a factorial button.
So is the factorial?
Right, so the factorial, you can also use the factorial formula as well.
Is that one where it's like 12 factorial over
Yeah.
5 factorial times 12 minus 5 factorial?
Yeah, we have that.
Yes, but not with the 5 factorial. You gave for permutations, not combinations.
So permutations for 5, but without it. So.
Like,
Yes,
in
I know.
100 formulas.
What question, like A, B, or C?
We're on A. Okay. So determine how many possible teams could be chosen. When you type that into your calculator, that's your answer. And then it says how many teams can be formed consisting of 3 boys and 2 girls. How does that question differ?
Because permutations to the matters, right?
Right. So how many combinations of 3 boys and 2 girls? How would I find that? Come on, so answer right.
Actually,
No.
Yeah, actually.
I did for like the parameter thing, like the.
Oh, yeah. It's like if you asked me to do present.
How many teams can we form? It's a team 5 students.
Yeah, it's a team of 5. So what's the difference between part A and part B?
Part A doesn't matter for like the gender and like the order, but part B does, right?
It's not the order that matters, because I can still pick Leonard and Rohan and Andrew and Jacqueline and Bella as my 5. Sorry, Sonia. But it doesn't matter what order I say your names in. You're not first pick, second pick. I'm just picking 5 people.
But A and B matters, the gender matters.
But the gender matters. So really, I'm looking for the combinations of 3 boys and the combination of 2 girls.
What if I'm like, what if the boy identifies as a girl?
So,
So if I need to come up with just the combination of boys, how would I calculate that?
Well, it says determine how many students can be formed consisting of 3 boys and 2 girls. Would that be 3? I don't know.
8 total boys. My universe is 8 for the boys. Combination 3. I only need 3 of them.
Is that a circle thing with the universe?
Sort of, yeah. We drew a box around the window.
Yes.
Plus, now my combinations of 2 girls. So I would have
Or C2. What does the C stand for? Combination.
combination. Does that make sense to everyone? Everybody good?
Liz, do you need that?
But is that how, that's the answer?
You like when you type this into your calculator, it gives you a number.
8C3?
Yeah.
So it's not permutation.
That one's still combinations. It doesn't matter what order I picked them in, it just matters. We had 2 separate groups that we were looking at.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Liz, maybe she'll know.
I know permutations, I don't know combinations.
Okay, go ahead.
You're.
Anyways, you.
And I'm sorry that I lied because you multiply them, you don't add them. And is multiply, my bad.
Okay.
That's what I started to think, but I wanted to double check. Okay, so for the second one, if we have, sorry, third one, whatever, third part. Determine how many teams can be formed of consisting of at most 3 girls.
So there has to be at most 3 girls?
Mhm.
So there can be 1, 2, and
Is that conditional probability?
Yeah.
like binomial CDF. Wait,
No, it's not binom CDF. I'm gonna show y'all. Maybe y'all might not be able to see it.
PDF?
PDF?
No, PDF is an exact number.
No.
The easiest way to do this one is if I have at most 3 girls out of 4 girls total, what's the only situation where I don't fit the rules,
Where there's only.
where there's 4 girls. and
right? Does that make sense?
And a guy.
Do you get what I'm saying? So essentially what we're gonna find instead is the complement. I'm hesitantly using the word complement because y'all are gonna be like 1 minus, but if you wouldn't be, who knows? Okay. We came up with the total number of possible teams up here.
Right.
Like the total number of ways we could combine any number of these people. If I just subtract out the combinations where there are 4 girls, that leaves me with 3 and less.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I would first let's just figure out how many combinations when there are 4 girls. How do you, no, you're right, I'm asking.
Because all 4 girls are on the team and then there's 1 extra spot, so each one of the boys would fill in the last spot, which would make 8 combinations.
Right, does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So then you would take the total number of combinations and subtract those 8 combinations. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool? Okay.
Wait.
Nope.
You have, but then when you get 0, you subtract every single one of them?
Total number of combinations, we did, the first problem right before you came in was like, it doesn't matter what gender we have. We could have 2 boys, 3 girls, we could have 3 boys, 2 girls, we could have 4 boys, 1 girl, we could have whatever, we could have all boys. Does that make sense? So if I take all of the combinations and then subtract, when it says at most 3 girls, that means I could have 0 girls, 1 girl, 2 girls, or 3 girls. So we figured out how many combinations of the teams have 4 girls. How many different ways could I come up with that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but.
Okay.
That's 4.
What?
That's 4 girls.
You just said 8. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
8.
8, no, yeah.
Right. So if I subtract that from the total number, that leaves me when there's 3 or less.
Oh, okay, and that's something you just do in your calculator,
Yeah.
the C.
It's
Yeah, the
12.
C thing you do in your calculator.
Okay,
It's 12 CR 5, and you get a number, you just subtract 8.
12 C divided by 5, okay.
Okay, this one.
Ugh.
My question is, how is it easy if we have so long for like?
This is the level 1, guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know.
Just show me back there.
I feel like I told you this was gonna.
Okay.
You did. And this doesn't mean that this is you get a 1 on the test. I'm just saying these are level 1 questions.
I know.
It's like
Okay.
3, right, on the HL paper, if we get all of these. 2.
Maybe, I don't know.
I know.
You know, I told you.
Okay, y'all know
This
that
study.
a part of these, okay, sorry, well, I'm on recording, so I guess it doesn't matter, but for your paper 1 and paper 2, your tests are similar to SL, but you have extra questions that are more HL material. There's just a few extra questions on it, basically. You have more time, but you have more questions. Does that make sense? You could have HL questions on paper 1 and paper 2. It's not like
Just.
all your questions are HL
That's what I
questions.
thought. Supposed to be a 1.
Yeah, I thought paper 3 was like, I thought it was just like paper 3 is only HL, nowhere else.
So paper 3 is your HL, you only have 2 questions for your paper 3. They're like the page-long building questions.
Bro, I'm gonna fail paper 3.
You shouldn't.
Thanks, letter. Thank you so much.
Hopefully,
So the key to paper 3 is that thing that we've been talking about where it's like, just because you don't know how to do this, that doesn't mean you're dumb. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're gonna work over these next couple of days on those long problems of even saying, I'm just gonna write down an answer for this if I need to use that answer for this question. Like, let's say I know how to do this. I'm just gonna say that this is 2. I know it's not, but I'm gonna say it's 2 so I can use that piece here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I looked at your mock paper 3 that you're taking in like a while, and I showed it to Miss Kay, and we were both laughing about how y'all are gonna do so terrible.
When are we taking the walk to 3?
I think it's after spring break.
is next
Okay.
week, is
It might
next,
be next week.
Oh, next week is such a terrible.
Oh,
is
yeah.
next week,
It's your mocks for
topic 1 and 2?
top paper 1 and 2.
Paper 1 and 2 or topic?
Paper 1 and 2.
So it's on everything.
Or those are all have overscribed, stuff like predicted grades.
Wait, what?
Are those are predicted grades?
Those will strongly influence your predicted grades.
Oh, I better go stuff.
Let's take away the strong.
Okay, so this question, let f of x equal px cubed minus qx. At x equals 0, the gradient of the curve of f is 2. Given that f inverse of 12 equals 2, find the value of p and q. let's start by just going in order. When you see the word gradient, what should you think?
Derivative.
Yes, slope and, say it again, Leonard,
Derivative.
by extension, your derivative. So let's go ahead and start by taking my derivative.
3x squared minus.
3px squared.
Minus
3px.
2.
Okay, and it says at x equals 0, the gradient is 2. So if I plug in 0 here,
It's equal to 2.
is equal to 2.
Yes.
Terrible P.
I
Sorry,
thought it was
it looks like a 9. I know, I tried to fix it. Okay, so 3p times 0,
Zilch.
so q is,
Negative 2. Negative 2.
okay, we got one part of it. Yay! Okay, given that f inverse of 12 is equal to 2. What can I do with that information now?
F inverse when the x and y values switch. And then
Yeah, so what should I do, Leonard?
So, wait. So you, okay, so it would be y cubed minus 2y.
I'm gonna make it even easier for you. They gave us the x and y. You know how like if I say f of x equals something and then be like, we literally just have to, so what do I plug in for x? 2. 2.
2.
Does everybody understand why I plug in 2 for x instead of 12?
Yeah.
Because it's the inverse.
Because it's the inverse. Make sense? Okay, so I have p times 2 cubed minus negative 2 times cube, negative 2 times 2, there we go. 8p, and this is gonna be equal to 12, sorry. So I have 8p plus 4 equals 12,
P equals 1.
so p equals 1. That wasn't that bad, right?
That was kind of easy.
That's what I'm saying. You can do it.
Says easy
Your
on.
voice went
Go on,
too
says
hard.
easy on for you.
Leonard, can you solve it?
I literally didn't have a problem.
Well, yeah, Leonard, don't you?
Okay, next question. Again, we went over this. This was like, we did this one in SL too.
We didn't do it, you said it was on the sheet. We're hard to.
Here's a mark scheme. This time it is recording.
Yeah.
It is in the sheet. I'm not going over it again. Facts. Okay, this one, we didn't do this one, so we can go over it, but I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Okay, given that log b base b of 3 is equal to 10.
What?
Log base b
Oh.
of 3 is equal to 10. Find the exact value of log base b of 81.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay, I have log base b of 3. I know what that is, right?
Yep.
How can I relate log b3 and log b81?
3,
How can I relate 3 and 81?
3 squared squared.
3 to the power of 4, right?
3 to the 4th power, right? Which is squared, you're right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How do I write to the 4th power? Like if this is 3 to the 4th, what happens to that 4?
4 log B3.
So I have 4 log b3. If log b3 is 10, then log b81 is
40.
40. 4 times 10.
Amazing.
amazing.
Do I need to but like I'm asking?
No,
No, we're okay?
I got it.
We're okay? Okay. So now tell me about log base b squared. So now it's b squared in the base instead of 3.
So,
If I changed the base, there's a formula,
Log base
change of base.
It's log b squared, or like log base 10 b squared over, no. It's something over log 10, like log base 10.
You have the formula sheet in front of you.
is it the log base b of x over log base b of a? No.
Yeah, you said it. Go ahead.
Log base b of x over log base b of a. So in this case it would be log base, whatever the numbers are.
But this is equal to, what did it start as, Leonard?
Oh, well, that's equal to log base A of X. Well, yeah,
Log base A of X.
yes.
Okay. So I have a different base,
So,
right? So this that I want to change is my B squared. So my A is B squared.
so wouldn't that?
I know
be-
that's confusing because we already have A's and B's. I know that's
Yeah.
a little bit confusing, so I'm trying to break it down into pieces. Okay, so if I have B squared,
Yeah.
I put it in the base that I want, which is log B. So I have log B of X. So that's what was with my B squared, so it's of 3.
So it would be log base, B of 3 over log base B of B squared.
Yes.
Everybody with me still
Yeah.
so far?
So then 10.
Mm-hmm. So I have 10 over log base B squared.
Yeah.
And then maybe they didn't do change of base. Let me check. I would do change of base and then conversions. And then you have 2, because it's B squared, you can pull it down. So it would be 2 log of B. I'm just gonna write the thing a little bit larger. So you have log, log of 3 over
Log of
2 log B. Because the B squared. So the 2 can come down when we have it squared. Log, we're good. So then you just have 1/2. When you have the
B -1.
that's better, came in real strong for me. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. So because we have the log 3 over log B, we can rewrite this as 1/2 log base B of 3. So this is 1/2 times 10,
So 5.
which is 5.
Is that the issue?
Yep.
That's confusing.
Okay,
How's that easy?
you kind of lost me on just on the last step of one
Does
half
we-
log base B of B and then how do you?
And
This is like a 1/2 here
Oh, okay.
because of the 2 up front.
And then
I will leave it to log B.
It's on your formula sheet.
Oh, bro.
Okay, using, the next one has find the value of B, giving your answer correct to 3 significant digits. So here. Sorry. Okay, here, how would I solve for B normally? We would have 3 is equal to 10 B to the 10th power. Like, because we just move our base,
Yeah.
right? So then you would take the 10th root
Of 3.
of 3. You're allowed to use your calculator, you just type it in.
1.12.
Cool?
yeah, 1.1.
Alright.
1.1612. You don't have any-
Andrew, you do that in your head?
1.161233.
I had the answer key up there.
Oh, I was like, Andrew.
I'm not that smart, no problem.
Liz, stop.
Okay,
What did I do?
I'm pretty sure we talked
It's your
about
present
these.
place.
You don't want me to
It's
do
your
it this time?
What? Yes, I want you to do it.
Okay.
What? Existence.
What?
You literally said you were laughing.
Hi.
I'm done.
Alright,
That was cute, shut up.
find the common ratio. If this is U2 and U5, how do I find the common ratio between them?
You too.
Oh, you need to
Oh,
find
shoot,
you.
it's
divide them?
5 minus 2 there.
Or multiply
Sort
it.
of. Sort
You need to
of.
find U1
But it's a
or
geometry.
We don't even have to go to U1 yet. Okay.
But how do you find?
Let's take a timeout. I think some of you actually might have the right answer, but can I talk about it if you don't know how to do it? Can I do that first?
Sure.
Okay, with a common ratio, with a geometric sequence in series, what am I doing each time? What operation?
Multiply.
I'm multiplying by the common ratio. So if I have U2, which is 6,
Yes.
I would multiply it times the common ratio. And which term would that give me?
U3.
U3. If I multiply it by the common ratio again, which term does it give me?
R.
If I multiply it by the common ratio again, which term does it give me? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now I have 6 times R cubed is equal to 20.25. What's that?
Oh, okay, that's your.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
She's useless in my class. No, I was Okay, so from here, you would have R cubed is equal to 20.25 divided by 6, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then you take the cube root. Are we good? Math happens.
I have a question.
Yep.
Maybe this might sound really, really like dense of me. But what if you did 20.25 divided by 6 divided by 3?
It's not divided by 3.
It'd be root.
1.5.
Oh, because it's R.
R cubed, not
Got
3R.
R is 1.5.
It would be rude.
1.5?
Okay, let her talk.
Okay, so now, how would I find U1?
You divide 6.
Perfect, Andrew. That's right. And I think I heard Leonard say it back there too. You would take 6 and divide it by 1.5 in order to get U1.
4.
Yeah.
Can I do that right?
Or if you want, yeah, but that's two, but if that's, that would be 3, you would just plug it into the, formula for, the end term of a geometric sequence and then solve it out.
Okay, then it says, find the greatest value of n such that U sub n is less than 200. What is, now that we have U1, what's my formula for any term in a sequence?
U9 equals U1 R to the power of n minus 1. R and.
Over,
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
over R minus 1.
I want this to be less than 200.
So 199.
We're gonna just do it in all.
Side of the 7th.
But we have R.
200 divided by 4
50.
is less than or equal to, we do have R 1.5 to the n minus 1.
Do we don't have N though?
Yeah, we're trying to find.
We're trying to find n. There are a couple ways to do this. If you can handle your logs and your bases and all that kind of stuff, what I recommend, this is technically an equation. I would put it into y1.
Oh, really?
And then I look in my table for the greatest value of x, I know it says n, but x in this case, that keeps my y less than 50.
You say be putting things into X and Y.
Hey,
I didn't think about that, you know?
I got a question. Can you show how we would do it with the logs? Please.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, can I come back to it? Can you remind me? Because the answer is no, I really don't want to.
Okay.
Okay. Just so y'all can see the answer.
Oh, you know that how you posted the answers to the formative test that we did?
Yeah.
It's like one long picture.
Yeah.
But
It won't zoom in for y'all.
no.
I legit don't know that I can get that back then.
What do you mean go back?
Like, I just did a print screen. They took away the save to Google Drive. I now uploaded a Chrome extension that allows me to save to Google Drive. But like, the PDF version, I didn't save it to my desktop and then uploaded it. I tried to just, anyway, okay, yes. If it's on my desktop, I can try to upload it, but I don't know that I saved it. And I make them and then I don't keep them always.
That was the one I feel like I figured out, because you had to find Y1 and do the N and then do something else, and that was like the only test I actually like did. But I wanted to check it.
Gotcha. I got you. I'm gonna see if it's there, and if not, if you still have it, actually, I could remake it again.
I still have it.
Okay, so if I don't have it on my desktop, then yes, I can remake it again. Just make sure you remind me at the end of class. Okay, consider this function. We have an integral. Now they want you to find the integral where there's a 5 multiplied by the function. What does that do?
You just multiply 5 on the other side.
What do you mean by the other side? You're right. Yeah, 5 times 8 is 40.
Okay.
Do y'all understand that law that we're actually talking about though?
I can't
Once you
see.
multiply something on
Okay.
one side, you do the other side.
If you, well,
No.
it's one of the integral rules. So if you have a coefficient, just a coefficient, not something with a variable, but just a number, you can pull it out of the integral.
Oh, it's true.
Thanks for the support.
I realized it. It's true.
So it would be 5 times 8. Does that make sense? Everybody good? Okay, so then on this one, it looks crazy complicated, right? Now we have the integral from 4 to 8 of g of x minus 1 plus 2.
No.
Seems super crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
Because my boundaries were from 3 to 7, but now they're from 4 to 8.
You just
My God, what do I do?
Stop the problem.
What, when I have a function and I have something in parentheses with the x, what happens to the function?
something with X.
I don't want to use the word because it's going to give it away.
Wait,
When
can
you
say
see
again?
this, what does it make you think of from algebra?
Functions. There's like
GMX.
There's GMX?
the graph.
Starts with a T.
Transformation.
Transformation.
I just.
When you have x minus 1, what kind of transformation is that?
Or,
You move to the right.
Horizontal. If it's horizontal transformation, what happens to your x variables?
oh, it changes, but it's going to the one, to the.
It goes to the opposite way, right?
It goes
So
to
if
the
I
right.
subtract 1, what happens to my x value?
To the right.
I add 1, right? Oh my gosh, look at these x values. It's just plus 1. They did the work for you.
Thank you, IB.
All right,
So it's, you
So-
never.
this piece, the integral from 4 to 8 of g of x minus 1. Whenever you have something that is now a constant at the end, you can split this integral. Does that make sense? Like it's just 2, where that plus sign is, as long as it doesn't have an x with it, I can split it. Everybody good with that? Okay, so this is just the integral of 2. What is the integral of 2?
2x.
From 4 to 8. And this one, because we talked about that transformation, it's literally this.
Oh, for real?
Like
No.
that.
That's it?
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
So I have,
Oh.
because like it's the function shifted 1. Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
it's just the same thing because I shifted the boundaries too.
That's 8.
So this is 8 plus 2 of x from 4 to 8. How do I do it when I have the bar at the end? What do I do with my boundaries?
Upper boundary minus lower boundary.
So I put them in upper minus lower. So I'd have 16 minus 4, or 16 minus 8 is what?
8,
So 8 plus 8 is,
12.
Wait, why did you shift two?
plugged in my 8 to the 2.
Oh, okay.
So I get 16
Yeah.
minus 2 times 4. So
Upper
16
minus
minus
lower,
8.
sorry about it.
Yep.
Do you 8 minus 4 then just plug that in?
What do you mean
What?
8 minus 4 and plug it in?
Like,
Yeah,
lower?
upper minus lower.
But like, do you have to like do like 2 times 8 minus 2 times 4?
Yeah.
The only time you have to change it is if they're, like, because this only had an x.
Uh-huh.
No, but sometimes it gets more complicated when you have the cubes or
Oh.
things like that. Not always, but sometimes, so it's like,
Just be safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. That one's done. How am I doing on time? I have no idea what time it is.
30 seconds.
Oh, we did this question today during class, I think. We talked about kinematics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna have HL questions on the test.
And we talked about this one, the sum of cubes.
Can we do the long one now?
What's that
I
called?
did it.
Level 1.
Right?
I crossed my
That's what-
fingers.
that's-
Congratulations, you got it.
But I think you'll be surprised when we go through more of these on higher levels by the fact that you are equally as confident on some of those problems as you are on this.
Did you say we're gonna fail?
Well, yes, but I was talking about the mock exam.
I actually see, I actually know what I'm talking about, like, when when we say like medium or hard, okay, hard level, maybe, is it something medium level? It's like sometimes we know what to do, but like just getting down to the basics is sometimes actually the hard part.
You don't have to stay though.
It's just good.
I literally don't know where it is, Rohan.
It's right there.
This one, got it.
Yeah, we don't know either.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's like-
I
50 equals 1.5.
50 greater than 1.5
And minus 1.
or in minus 1. No, I did the
I
1.5.
mean, you don't need the R, like,
Oh, well, got it.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this is the same thing as 50 greater than 1.5 to the n times 1.5 to the negative 1. Exponent rules?
Yeah.
We're okay with that?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing as dividing by 1.5?
Yeah.
And then to move it to the other side, I multiply by 1.5?
Okay.
So what's 50 times 1.5? 75.
Yeah,
75 is equal to 1.5.
No,
Less than-
greater than.
Greater than 1.5 then.
Oh, we did divide.
I gotta figure it out.
Okay. So then you do base log 1.5, 75 is equal to n.
You would take the log of both sides.
Oh,
Um,
You, okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, 1.5 to the n.
Oh,
That's what pulls down the end.
and then you solve it. So you just do log 75 divided by log 1.5 is equal to n.
But I would, it is so much easier to do the table thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I know.
You're less likely to make a mistake, you let your calculator do all of your work.
Okay.
You can also plug and shove realistically with a couple numbers to get a rough idea once you get to this stage too.
Yeah. But like,
But if you plug and shove, you have to be careful that you're doing n minus one
and not n.
and not just n. So, I mean, at your own risk.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thompson.
You're welcome.
HLD tomorrow.
Yeah.
You